Hi, I'm Donna Wolf from naztazia.com.
In this review video by Nastasia, I'll show the new yarn from Red Heart called Flower Power. This is similar to their automatic granny square yarn in that the color changes are built into the skein of yarn and are supposed to change for the different parts of the flower. This is a completely honest review since I am not associated with the manufacturer of this yarn nor the craft place where I got it from. Now, the granny square flower itself is a bit more complicated than a regular granny square and probably geared more towards an advanced beginner or someone with an intermediate level of crochet experience. I made a practice granny square myself out of 3 regular skeins of yarn just to ensure I know how to do the pattern. And yes, in this case, there are 6 ends to weave in at the end of this sample. The first step with this new Flower Power yarn is to find where the first color starts and stops. In this case, the yellow is the center of the flower, so I'm going to start with that. The instructions say to leave a 4-inch tail end, so hopefully what I've left will be enough to weave in the ends and still give me enough for the center of the flower. I'm going to follow the directions for making double crochet stitches in the ring and hopefully end up with enough yellow yarn to finish the center of the flower cleanly. And surprisingly, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty close here with finishing the slip stitch with no yellow yarn left over. So far, I'm doing pretty okay with this yarn. Now, here's the fun part. The next section is the white yarn, and I just have a feeling as I near the end of the last round for the flower, the white yarn will either run out too soon or I will have too much white yarn left over. Clearly, I have a problem. The green yarn is already starting, and I haven't even finished my next to the last petal yet. So I'm going to remove the stitches and try a smaller crochet hook in the hopes that I get enough white yarn to last me throughout the flower. I end up trying a few more times to get this flower part right, as one can see. Surprisingly, after about the 4th try, which isn't that bad compared to my experience with the original granny square yarn from back in December, I successfully made the flower. Must admit I'm pleasantly surprised that this one was more forgiving with the color changes. Even when I worked with the green yarn, I had a little left over so I could sufficiently weave in that last end with no issues. Aside from the fact that this isn't exactly a beginner flower square pattern, I kind of like the yarn, much better than the original granny square yarn from a while back. And that's my review of the new Flower Power yarn.